Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your 5-0 Kansas City Chiefs. That's right, the last AFC undefeated team. Not the only one in the NFL, as you well know. The Vikings are still undefeated after their trip to London, I do believe. But yes, Kansas City walks away Monday night against the Saints in Arrowhead with the W. And you know what? Listening to the game last night, I just got sick and tired of hearing over and over and over again. Well, you know, they're without Pacheco, and they're without Rice, and they're without Hollywood Brown, and they're without... You know what? It doesn't fucking matter, because it's next man up when it comes to the Chiefs, and the next man up, Juju Smith-Schuster, coming away with a monster game. That's right. Juju! Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Kansas City Chiefs podcast. I don't even know. We are the Indiana Chiefs fans podcast. I am Golden Jay, and with me as back this week, it is the Chief. And man, let's get into this game.
I got to say one thing. For any of you guys watching on a video channel like YouTube, I am wearing the Royals championship World Series championship winning jersey with Perez on the back, because not only did we get to watch the Chiefs win last night, in a rare opportunity, you got to see the Royals and the Chiefs playing at the same time. And as luck would have it, the TVs, one was on this wall, and one was on that wall. So it was, as Karen put it, it was like a tennis match, like this. It was great. I loved it. And the Royals did win for any non-baseball fans, but it's a unique opportunity and doesn't happen that often. So that's why I'm donning the Royals jersey with the Kansas City Chiefs below.
There you go.
With
I don't really follow baseball that much, so I don't know that much about it. I just know that they were, last I heard, they were 1-1 against the Yankees.
Yep.
Is that right?
And that is correct. And the Yankees is the one team that everyone outside of New York hates, because they stack their roster. And an example, the three teams playing last week did not equal the Yankees payroll. 3 complete teams. So,
oh wow,
they do not have a salary cap.
Baseball
that's
doesn't have a cap.
They do, but you just pay a fine.
Oh god,
and that fine goes to good use. It goes to like fun, like kids baseball, stuff like that. You know, it goes back into the communities to help in sports and other things like that.
Right on. Okay, so the fines are a good thing, but still, then they add to the roster and over money. Yes, let's get back to this game. It was a Monday night. They say it was absolutely gorgeous out there in Arrowhead. The weather was perfect for a Monday night football game. And, man, started on time. There was no big rain delay like there was in Monday Night Football the week before. But I think there were 45 to an hour. Oh, that's right. There was a rain delay on that opener. One too.
Yeah. So it seems to be happening quite often this year.
Yeah, well, it happens. I mean, it's weather. I think one of the big things to take away from the opening of this game was Jamal Charles beating on the drum, which I think was fucking awesome. It's good to see Jamal back. Of course, he is my pick. If you wanted to add a person to this roster from the past Kansas City teams, Jamal would be the guy. Can you imagine Jamal Charles and Patrick Mahomes together on a team? Oh my God. Nobody'd stand a chance.
That
It's
would be,
almost like Lamar and Derrick Henry.
yeah.
Almost.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Yep. So we started the game off once again in a little bizarre to me. The Saints win the coin toss and decide that they want the ball first. Of course, it doesn't take long for Derek Carr to throw an interception to Brian Cook right out the gate. I can't remember. Was it the first play or the second play? I might have.
I think it was a second or third, but yeah, it was a nice INT there.
Brian Cook come down with it, man. Made sure he stayed in bounds on it. It looked amazing.
I mean, Derek Carr looked like he was trying to throw it away, not necessarily get it to one of his players because he was getting ready to be sacked. One of many potential sacks that happened in that game, but bad throw on his part. You never throw when you're lateral to the ground unless you're Mahomes.
Right. Yeah, they only walked away with actually one sack in this game. And that was
Derek.
Yeah. Nope. It was Deshaun Wharton come away with it.
Oh, I thought he got it. Oh well.
No, it was just one sack on him. Negated. Well, we'll talk about that here in a minute because I have it written down. But let's just run through the first quarter as it was good to see. It was good to see them feeding Kelsey. Man, they just in that first half they just fed him. Man, they kept getting him the ball. It was good to see him back in stride. He had 9 catches on 10 targets for 70 yards. So another really good week after the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. So Kelsey's getting back in rhythm, but I think that was part of it. That's part of getting him back in the program. And I think once again, he was able to get open because of the defensive scheme that they were running. They weren't running man. They were running, what was it called? I forget. Ugh. But it kind of opened Kelsey up a little bit.
It was let Kelsey catch the ball is what it's called. Defense. And on a side note, for people like me that are, bet on sports, I took this bet. I mean, as soon as I saw it pop up, Kelsey 5.5 receptions over or under, I took the over, of course, knowing that, they're going to incorporate him as often as they can, and they did. So I was really happy he had nine catches.
That's the over, baby. Yeah, they fed Kelsey through this entire game for the most part. Really feeding off the tight ends. Not a ton of targets on wide receivers. I mean, Xavier Worthy had 3 receptions and Juju had 7. Let's talk about that 1 second. Juju Smith-Schuster's game. His entire game, 7 receptions, 130 yards, averaged about 18.5 yards per carry, with as long as being that 50-yarder, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But Juju it was like he knew it was his time. It's my time to get back here in Kansas City.
Yeah, I was going to say, Juju had a great game. I won't say he didn't, but come on, don't give it up in the end zone.
Yeah, okay, so, I mean, you can point the finger at him. I don't know that it was as fast as it was going, if it was actually a catchable catch. I mean, he's had some great catches in the past, don't get me wrong, and it was a tight window. It was fun to watch watch that defensive lineman. Sanders,
he ran.
Who was?
He ran. I believe it was 15.8 miles an hour. The big guy. They clocked him as fourth fastest, I believe, of anyone over 320 pounds in a game.
Exactly.
Credit to him, of course. Yeah, that was. I wish it was our guy, our 320 pounder running with the INT, but I was like, tackle the son of a bitch. Come on.
That was yeah. So I mean, there was one that got through. I mean, the defense stepped back up and shut them down. I mean, there just was nothing for the Saints in this game. The defense dominated. The offense did a great job in this game, spreading the ball out, getting it around. But man, we have got to figure out this red zone problem that we have.
Yeah, I was going to say if you weren't going to bring it up, I was like, we get in the red zone, we get field goals. Don't get me wrong. We're winning by playing, I'll use the analogy for the Royals, small ball. Small ball being, we're getting it to the tight ends a lot, and getting some yak. But small ball doesn't count when you're in the red zone. You need a touchdown.
Right.
A field goal is great here and there, but what was it, 3 field goals yesterday, I think? Maybe 4, I can't remember. Bucker missed one.
Yes.
Mr. Automatic has already missed 2 field goals, I think, this year or something like that. So let's get it going, Bucker. Let's start the season over starting this coming week and, reset the not timer, but reset it to 0. And let's go on a limb here, Jeremy, and let's say he doesn't miss again.
Okay.
Because last year, Gunner brought that up, and man, he was on.
He was. He was 4 for 5. His longest being 38. He was 2 for 2 on extra points. But he's got 14 points in the game. Which is crazy.
And by the way,
but
yeah, if you're a betting fan like I am, it was 6.5. So just saying, people. Yeah, I made some good money last night, we'll say. So, and the reason is just like you're saying, Jeremy. We can move the ball down the field, but much like our defense, other defenses are honing in on us. When we're in the red zone and kind of containing our offense. I think they need some more play action, some more deceptiveness. Being that we're running with 3 tight ends at sometimes. Rashid Rice. Yeah. He. Not Rashid Rice. I'm sorry. Rashid Rice.
Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, thank you. I think we need some better schemes for him. I don't know what the problem is getting him the ball. I see him running routes. I just don't see him getting the ball, and he's not getting as open as I would expect him to be. But I think if, I know he's a rookie. I know Andy Reid's working on it, but I like to see Juju and Xavier, kind of exploiting the defenses more, which should open the red zone or not even get to the red zone if we can bomb them.
Right.
The wide receivers need to get more involved is all I'm saying in the red zone.
Well, and I won't disagree with you. I think you're right. But on the flip side of that is when you set up 4 tight ends in a play, nobody runs 4 fucking tight ends in a play except Andy Reid. I mean, it pays off. I mean, I think that was a big gain for Noah Gray in that, or maybe that was a Kelsey catch. I can't remember, but when you run a 4 tight end scheme, you can tell what Andy's running heavy on because he trusts him. He's got Noah Gray. He's got Travis Kelce. He's got Jody Fortson. Who was the third? Wiley. The 4th tight end, Wiley, the rookie. He's believing in them. He trusts them. And Andy Reid's a tight end coach originally. In Green Bay, that's what he did. So that's what he leans heavy on. But I agree with you. We need to get and I was watching, and it just irks me because I'm watching this, and I was watching Worthy, Okay, where's Worthy at? Okay, where's he going? And he'd go down and, basically run a hook route or, just a deep route. And I think a lot of that has to do with Worthy is the fastest. He was the fastest wide receiver in the combine, period. He was faster than Tyreek, not by a ton, just by a smidge. But they were saying that he's fast from point A to point B as long as it's a straight line. And when you start adding in these cuts and these things like that, he's still not quite as fast as what Tyreek was back in the day. So, and he's going to work with him. I mean, he's already proven to be somebody that you can count on. I mean, for the most part, when you throw him the ball, he's coming up with it. He did go 1 for 3, I think. 1 for 3 on 3 targets.
And I think
but
he
for the
had
most
a
part,
shovel pass or something here and there. I think, end around type thing.
That I apologize. That I was looking at the wrong thing. That is his rushing. It was 1 for 3 yards, which would have been was his touchdown. Was that his touchdown he took from Kelsey?
Mm-mm.
I believe so. So, in the air wise, he was 3 out of 6 targets for 25 yards. But that's an average of 8.5 yards a touch. So, still, every time he touches it, man, it's close to a first. Well, yeah, but we all want more of that. But he's a rookie, so you got to give him a little slack.
I mean, your wide
He's still learning.
receivers, you want your wide receivers to be in my opinion, the 10 to 12 range.
I'm just looking to see.
That's it.
Noah Gray was average of 14.5. P. Ryan was average of 24, but he only had one receiving catch for 24 yards. So yeah, that's a good average. Juju was an average of 19. Kelsey was an average of 8.
Yep.
Hardman was an average of 8. So I mean, listen, man, I am a firm believer in as long as you're coming away with 4 yards every time you hike the ball, you'll matriculate down the field.
This is true. I'll be honest, and I'm just being straight up, missing all the weapons, which everybody talked about. I thought the game was going to be much tighter than it actually was. Granted, if we scored one more time in the red zone, that fear would have went away, but every game we played this year, even with our starters, has been, one of inches, one of luck, whatever you want to characterize each game as. Each one had a different element, but I really want to see us just really put one away early and just put it on cruise control. I'd like to see that, but if it doesn't happen, as long as we're winning.
Yep, absolutely.
A dub's a dub.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the win is the win. We're 5-0. Patrick went 28 for 39 on 331 yards. Good God, I mean, he lit it up.
So I lost that bet.
Would you go under?
I took the under 275 or something, just because he hadn't had the numbers in the past, 2 to 3 weeks. So
I think I was texting Lance last night, and he had taken an over 225, I think, if he was over 225. And I said, man, don't worry, it's 235 all night long. And you see how far I was off.
Well, I went
his
on
average
alternate.
Has been right around 230, 235.
Yeah, I went on to alternate passing because I figured he'd be over 250, but under 270.
Right.
But the odds are so much better when you go 50 yards above the norm. And I did that because the Saints, in my opinion, just their defense is somewhat suspect, in my opinion.
Right.
I didn't know how Andy was going to utilize all the receivers. I did like the 4 tight ends. The way that they were getting Kelsey, the ball, getting him open, and that defense just didn't play Kelsey well,
No.
But they weren't double teaming him, which I thought they would, because he's, are you going to double team Juju or are you going to double team Kelsey? If I were the opposing defense, Kelsey 100%. But they didn't. Their loss, our gain. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next game. I think if I were a defensive coordinator looking at that game last night and how they stopped Kelsey in other games, they're probably going to double team him, which means our wide receivers and other tight ends, just need to pick it up and, take his place.
Yep, absolutely. Let's jump back to this real quick as we finish out the first quarter. Hunt with his first touchdown back as a Kansas City Chief. With about 6:34 to go in the first quarter. Saints get the ball back and go 3-and-out in their second possession. So interception and then 3-and-out. And then the Chiefs went 3-and-out, and we finished off the first quarter 7-0 Kansas City. As we roll into the second quarter, about 12:39 to go, Butker for 3, giving the Chiefs a 10-0 lead. And it looks like about 8:36 to go, Carr to Shaheed for a touchdown, 43 yards. I knew I wrote it down. A 43-yard touchdown, man. What a bomb. It just goes to show that when Carr can throw, Carr can throw. I mean, he's on the money, and but most of the time Carr's not on. He went 8 for 28, 165 yards, and he left the game with
oblique.
Oh, an oblique. Yeah, which I have no idea what the fuck that is. What is an oblique injury? I was going to look it up and I forgot.
Something in your back. Just can't remember the exact terminology.
Right on.
Because I was sitting next to a Carr fan there, Jeremy, this entire game last night. And
oh, wow.
Listening to that person go, I'm like, don't worry about it. And then when he got injured, she said, they got his ribs. I'm like, no, he was grabbing the area like where your love handles are, basically, in your back area.
Right.
So, and he mentioned that when he was throwing the ball prior to that play, he was feeling some pain in that area, and it wasn't the hit that caused him to grab that area, because, like I said, he had mentioned, maybe the series before or somewhere during the game, he felt something that was off. So the hit was just enough to give him enough pain, I think, to say, hey, take me out. Coach, put somebody in.
Right.
Not really sure when it happened, but there's an article on NFL.com that I was reading earlier today that kind of went over when it happened.
Yeah, because
how it felt.
It wasn't that hard of a hit, to be 100% honest. I mean, it was a clean hit. I mean, it wasn't necessarily something that, he didn't get driven into the ground or, anything like that. So hopefully he gets it figured out and he can get back to the Saints. But as we wrap up the second, as we rack up the first half, it looks like at about 1:32 to go, Butker hits a field goal, making it 13-7. And then I do believe the Saints went 3-and-out, gave the ball back to Kansas City with time on the clock, ran it down to 6 seconds where Butker hit a field goal, making it 16-17 going into the half. All right, my takeaway for the first half is the red zone shit that we talked about earlier. Too many trips to the red zone. Points are points. I get it, but we need to come away with touchdowns and not field goals. I think that in their upcoming bye week, I think this is something that they really, really need to start working on, trying to figure out why they're getting shut down in the red zone and coming up with some. I don't know, man. You ran Hunt, you ran P. Ryan, and you ran Steele through most of the regular, and then when you get into the red zone, it's like we just need to fucking pass. We got to pass. And I'd put Steele in there with on a 1st and 5 or a 1st and goal with 5 to go on the 5. I'd stick him in there for 2 2 runs to see what he could do with it. And, you know, they did it in the first series with Hunt running it in straight up the middle, getting in there, touchdown, red zone, touchdown. But yet we get into this later in the game and we've got to throw when we're in the red zone, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. As we start the second half, the Chiefs have the ball. I do believe that was there was a pass interference on Worthy that wasn't called, which in turn turned us into a Butker missed 51-yard field goal. And then we get that Wharton sack after after a major penalty on the Saints, which backed them up. But there was 2 guys on Jones, full face mask grab, another no call. What the fuck, refs? Come on. I mean, if we're paying off the refs here, people, you would think that would have been called. It was pretty obvious. Reached up, grabbed Jones's face mask, wrapped the fucking helmet almost all the way off. But, you know, it is what it is.
The check didn't clear this week, I think. I don't know.
Apparently. At 3:47 to go, there was a PI on Saints on Worthy, which got us back down in there. But that's when that's at 1:43. That was when we had the interception, the Juju miss and the interception by Saunders. And once again, watching the big man run was pretty fucking amazing. And I was excited for him because, you know, we watched him for a lot of years in Kansas City. He was a draft pick of Kansas City's a few years ago. And it's always good to see the big man making things happen. And we're happy for him. And then, of course, you had to get all of the background story on the Sanders family. You know, his brother is a backup dancer for Swift, you know, for Taylor Swift. And, oh, man, it's funny as shit. So,
hey, I'm glad you said that because they didn't have the audio on at the bar. So I did not know that they were. I remember seeing.
Right on.
Yeah, so it was kind of. I did not know that, and then of course they probably panned to Taylor right after they said that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
They had what?
You know,
5. I think they panned to her 5 or 6 times, which is more than usual. That usually it's a couple times a game, but for some reason this one was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times at least, because everyone in the bar started going boo, you know. So I don't know.
See, now I didn't feel that way. I figured that. And that's all right, but I didn't feel that way. I felt that they've actually simmered down the pans too, because every time Travis would catch the ball, you know, earlier in the season they would pan to her, or last year they would pan to her every fucking time he touched the ball, or his name was mentioned, they would pan to her. You know, 5 times in a stretch of 3 hours, I don't think is as bad as what it used to be. The last 2 games, I don't believe she was at. So I mean, there wasn't a single pan to Taylor in the last 2 games. So I don't know, was she there or was she not there? Because I don't know.
She wasn't at the previous game.
Somebody said that she was at that Atlanta game, but I never did. Like I said, they didn't pan to her. So I thought I saw some thing, but it's probably false news on Facebook. So you know how that goes.
Yeah, I left all those groups. I don't know anymore.
All right. Then we got in a little bit later in the game, before the end of the third, and they didn't really talk about it. But I was perplexed. There was 2 passes by Carr that were definitely still that. Well, I guess I should go back and look at it to be 100%. But it looked to me like he was still in the pocket, and he passed, not making it back to the line of scrimmage, or did he have a eligible receiver? Either one of them, and they didn't call him either time for intentional grounding. And I'm watching it, and now I have to take a pause because Joe Fucktard and Troy Aikman are not even mentioning this. Usually they would be like, well, that should have been intentional grounding, but they didn't even mention it. So did I miss something on that, people? Hit me up. Chief, do you know?
No, they were. I was at the bar saying, where's the intentional grounding? Especially on the one that was, I won't say both, but one was very, I mean, there was no one within 20 yards. And I was
Right.
like, where's the intentional grounding? I was expecting the flag to come out and nada. So once again, Joe, oh, I can't say what I want to. It rhymes with truck. Who's one of the worst announcers, in my opinion, of any football game. He's getting there. He's getting a paycheck. That's all I'm saying. I don't particularly like him as an announcer. I would like anyone else but Joe Buck. And Aikman's okay, but again, they just don't have facts. They just side with whatever team's winning. And belate the other side until that team starts coming back, and then they're like, well, they've come back many a times, from 14 down,
Right.
I like facts and figures, and like me, I'll be sitting at home, I'll be sitting with friends, family, at a bar, wherever. Dude, if we PI somebody, I was like, that's a flag. They don't call it.
Right.
Hey, it's not on me, but I'll be like, that's a flag on us that they didn't call. And the reverse of it is when they don't call obvious, blatant, calls. I don't care what it is. I'm like, where's the flag, people? And then, like you said,
Right.
Chris Jones ripping his helmet off. Where's the, come on, his neck was turned. It was clearly getting ripped, but whatever.
Right.
They miss calls, every game. And I always say there's a penalty almost every play.
They're not perfect. Yeah, they're not perfect. I mean, we don't expect them to be perfect, but I think like I said, I saw 2 intentional groundings that I thought were blatant, and I could not believe that it wasn't something that was definitely picked up on. But it is what it is. It wasn't like it was a big advantage for them. They just didn't call it. So as we finish the third, it's still 16-7. Nobody scores in the third quarter. So moving on to the fourth. At 11:56 to go, Kelsey takes the snap, hands it off to Worthy for the touchdown, giving the Chiefs a 23-13 lead. And I think that this is really cool because what Worthy did was he was on the right side of the end zone for the touchdown. He runs all the way down. He doesn't celebrate with his team. He just runs all the way down to the other end of the end zone, and he hands the ball to his mom. And obviously mom's there, gives him a big hug. And it was really cool to listen to the post game stuff where I think they even kind of talked about it after the fact, after he'd done it, that Xavier Worley's mom is a very young mom. She had him when she was really young. And, it's been pretty much just her raising him and working her ass off to give him the best of what she can give him. And, he's worked really hard as a football player, and now he's in the NFL, and he's like, now it's my turn to take care of my mom. And it was really cool because it was like, I played on her birthday and I've scored touchdowns on her birthday in the past in college, but you can't give away the ball like that. It's a penalty in college. And he said, I finally got to score a touchdown on her birthday in the NFL and got her a game ball. So I thought that was really cool. It was really, really interesting little side piece that kind of went along with his touchdown with about 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Defense holds on again.
It's interesting you say that because she I don't even know if I want to say it on the podcast, but what the hell. On the flip side, Rashid Rice's mom is allegedly stole packages off someone else's property in looked like an apartment complex or something. So it wasn't a football. Again, allegedly, I'll keep it at that. Just the flip side.
It's crazy, the controversy that Rice is, you would hope that with the talent that he is, that it would just go away. But at the same time, look at Kareem Hunt. Look at Kareem Hunt early on
in
his career. doing dumb shit, having dumb shit around him. Even Mahomes' dumb shit that was around him has kind of faded off, with his brother and his wife and all that. But let's hope that Rice can get through this unscathed, and we'll see what happens. But Kareem Hunt, I mean, what a great return story. I mean, if you get a chance to go and listen to him talk about him, taking time to find out about himself and being, I can't be like this. I'm not a spoiled brat, and I need to find myself, and him coming back to Kansas City, Andy Reid giving him a second chance. Andy Reid's known for that. And I'll tell you what, our fucking roster right now is full of second chances. Did you hear them talking about that? So you got Kareem Hunt coming back. You got Juju Smith-Schuster coming back. You got damn, now I'm going to forget about him.
Hardman.
Hardman's back. Yeah. Jody Forson's back. I mean, there's just a laundry list of about half this fucking team has played for Kansas City and had left and now is coming back to, play again for Andy when he needs them. And it's really kind of fucking cool that if you look down the rosters, like, well, he was here. So basically what I'm saying is Colin Sanders ought to be back next year in Kansas City. I mean, it's just the way it should be. I think it's interesting.
So what are you trying to say? This is the replacements part 2 for the Keanu Reeves fans.
That's right.
Fucking
outstanding
we're
movie.
Starting. Yeah, I know. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Get you the ball. All right.
I get the ball.
Let's go. Go sit down. Go sit down.
Yeah. That movie is amazing. I could watch that thing 100 times and enjoy it every fucking time. Ole, 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 ole.
As he's smoking a cigarette.
So defense out on the field. Pat, I think he's smoking a cigarette. The John Madden, Pat Summerall in the booth.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Defense holds on again to force another fourth and out. Fourth down turnover out. Back at it again. 3:03 left in the game. Butker hits a field goal, making it 26-13. Cook. What did I put? Cook got with the Saints back on. Cook gets called on a PI, bringing it down. But I think right about that time is when Carr went out injured. They did hold him on that, so there's no points scored. Or did they get? They got a touchdown in there somewhere. Yeah, I missed the touchdown. Yeah, there it is. 14-16 to go. Saints get a touchdown, but miss the extra point, making it 16-13.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I missed that in my run there. I got excited about the Kelsey handoff to Worthy. But so Carr goes out. Their backup comes in. A second-year kid, never played a snap in the NFL. I mean, when they're talking about him, they're talking about his college stats and shit, and you're like, well, what's his NFL stats? No, there is none. What is it? Jake Hayner, I believe, went 2 for 7 on 17 yards. He actually ran for more fucking yards than he threw. No, he only ran for 11, but it was really close, and he ran for more than he threw. The kid just couldn't get it done. There was nothing left. Kansas City's defense shut him down. Chiefs walk away with the dub, 26-13 on a Monday night in Arrowhead, to making them 5-0. I mean, what more can you take away from this? That they played on every aspect. It was special teams, it was defense, it was offense, except the red zone. Yeah, you just can't get it.
That's what I take away.
Yeah, absolutely.
The defense, I think the defense and offense for once complemented each other. I would say up to this point, it's been more of a defense helping us win games. I think this game was one of the ones where it was pretty even.
Yeah,
defense has
won us the first 4 games. Yeah, the defense has won us the first 4 games. Period. I mean, we put points on the board. I mean, the offense put points on the board, but the defense has held us in there to allow us to keep these. I mean, these games are tight, but they're low scoring, and getting 26 points is a little bit above average of what we've been getting in the past, but in the first 4 games. But defense is what has held us into these games. So, hats off to Spags and those guys. I feel for Chris Jones because every fucking time I looked at Chris Jones when he was pass rushing, 2-3 guys on him, 2 or 3. It just fucking they just swarm to him. So it's insane. But
that just
it
helps
is what
other
it
players.
is. Absolutely. Kite Karlaftis or Wharton, gets him in there. Trent Duffy when it comes off the side. Everybody's so focused on everybody else.
Karlaftis was pretty quiet last night, actually, now that you mention it.
He was for the most part. Let me see what I can see what I got on him. No soul. I mean, really on the downside.
Quiet night.
He had 2 hits. Yeah. I remember he ran around that long side trying to get Hainer, and late in the game, and Hainer snuck around him because Karlaftis had to go clear around to come back in and get him, but he almost got him for the sack. I mean, Karlaftis is out there turning and burning, man. He's not fucking around, but once again, he's getting double teamed. Also, these guys are picking these guys up, and yeah, it's just insane. I don't even know how where did all those players on the offensive line show up to block? Put 3 guys on fucking Jones and 2 on Karlaftis, and I mean doesn't that leave like 3 guys wide fucking open to run up the middle? I don't even know. But,
that's what you would think. But it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, man. I just want to say that Gunnar and Sarah were out there last night. They just got back a little bit ago. They did bring me some Casey Beer Co. Fucking love Casey Beer Co. This is the Arrowhead Red Lager. And I cracked this open. This fucking thing is delicious. Just like all other Casey Beer Co. Casey Beer Co. We need a sponsor. I would love to drink your beer all day long. Just saying. Anyway, are you ready for Where Are They Now there, Chief?
Oh, hell. Let's see how bad I do this time. Oh, actually, I think I got one last week.
You got one, but that was 2 weeks ago. And you didn't listen to my 2 solos. So, yeah, you're way behind. I count those as losses.
Beehive. Well, I would too because you give the answer.
It's true. It's true. I do give the answer. This player, born October 10th, 1976, as a former professional American football wide receiver who played 8 seasons in the National Football League for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston/Tennessee Oilers. There you go. Houston Oilers, Tennessee Oilers. He has rejoined the Chiefs organization as a scout in 2006 and promoted to the position of senior personnel executive in 2021 in the NFL offseason. He has won 2 Super Bowl championships with the Chiefs. Interesting. Personal life.
2 Super
he has an
Bowls.
older brother. Yeah. Well, you got to remember as a senior personnel executive.
Oh, as a coach.
I don't think he won it when he was. Yeah, as a coach. He has an older brother who was a former member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers named Tyree. Yeah, that's Tyree. That's pretty much it. So there's your backstory. He played 8 seasons in Kansas City, and I don't know how many he played in Houston. Looks like 2.
That was no clue.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about wide receiver Willie Davis.
Oh my God. I have to Google this
He
guy.
played in Kansas City from 1990 to 1995 and played 96 through 98 with Houston. He's been an executive pretty much since 2006 working the scout team, and then got moved up in 2021 to present to senior personnel executive. Hats off to you, Willie Davis. Ah, yes, I remember him catching passes from Joe Montana. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
I don't remember anything about that guy, but I'll be honest, straight up honest.
Listen, man, it's funny to go back and pull these, and because I know these names and I remember being excited about these players when they were playing.
Yeah.
But this is 1995 when he quit, when he's no longer played with Kansas City as a player. We've had so many fucking wide receivers in and out of there over the years.
That's why, I mean, hey, you know what though?
Yeah.
I'd rather have a bunch of wide receivers come in and out versus looking at, when they pulled the stats on like the Bears, or just pick a team, on how many quarterbacks they've had in 5 or 7 years. They got to put up like 8 graphics. This guy, this guy, this guy. I'd rather have a wide receiver, leave the team than go through 15 quarterbacks in 12 years.
Right.
You're never going to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and the other thing is talking to listening last night, they were talking about it wasn't last night, it was one of the games that one of the quarterbacks has had 4 offensive coordinators in the last 5 years. I mean, how do you manage? Was it Derek Carr? Was it last night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just it's painful because it's like you can't get anything going with these guys because they're just trading them out and moving on to the next. And it's like, come on, guys, show some longevity, show some love. So
can you imagine being Derek Carr? You're on the Saints. Oh, sorry, you're 2-2.
Go ahead.
And you're like, and he's sitting there, like, fuck. I gotta play the Chiefs again. God damn it! I thought I was done with these guys.
I went to a different team, so I don't have to play the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he doesn't have to play us every year, but I can just.
Yeah.
When you're constantly getting beat by the same team as a quarterback, I know when Burrow was doing that to us, the team took it personally, and I think some of the reasons why they might lose is they just lose their confidence, to be honest. And having Carr play last night, I just saw the confidence wasn't there like the previous wins that they had. So, I mean, that's just an observation from my standpoint. I think every team's ready, but you still have this nagging, like that second voice in the back of your head saying, I'm going to get my ass beat, So, I don't know. That's personal.
Derek Carr has not been a great quarterback since he got injured when he was in with the Raiders. When he got there as a rookie, his first 3 or 4 years, monstrous. Man, I dreaded going against the Raiders when he was quarterbacking.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got injured, and he just fell apart. I don't know whether it's a mental thing. He's just worried he's going to get fucking smoked again and get hurt. I don't know. But he has not been, for the last 10 years, the same quarterback that he was back in the day. And I feel for him. I thought with the trade to New Orleans, he'd get away from that fucking shithole of a Raiders team and, maybe make something happen. But obviously, it's just not working out. I did for the first 2 games, but for some weird reason, they've lost the last 3. They come out 2-0, scoring fucking 90-some points in, those 2 games, and then are barely scraping past 50 in the next 3. So I feel for him. I do, because I like the Saints. I like New Orleans. I like Derek Carr. I like him better now that he's away from the Raiders. But, you want the best for these other quarterbacks. Like I said, we love football. We don't want to see anybody completely fail Caleb Williams, I prefer to watch him fail, but that's one thing to another. And Joe Burrow. It does my heart good to see fucking the Bengals so fucking down, and Joe Burrow and his fucking Ellen DeGeneres haircut. Just sucking the hind tit. So there you have it.
Well, on the flip side, what was the worst mistake the Chiefs ever did with the Raiders and quarterbacks? In I know
Rich
what my
Gannon.
opinion is, but yep, there you go. I didn't have to go any further than that. It's like, Jesus, give him a
Nobody.
Super Bowl caliber quarterback,
Yep.
for nothing.
I was so upset when they traded Gannon,
Mm-hmm.
period. Whether it was whoever they sent him to. I do believe it was, I want to say Elvis Grbac at that time. Was it not?
Yeah.
We kept
Yep, it
Elvis
was,
and traded Rich, and
dude,
I thought
he
that was the
sucked
biggest mistake we
balls.
ever made. Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was
It
horrible.
was terrible.
No,
Yep.
then Baltimore
Yeah.
got him, thinking that they could upgrade their team from they just won a Super Bowl, and they put Elvis Grbac in there, and I think they were like 4-12. It was like, yeah, I feel our pain, bitches.
Yeah.
But anyway,
now you know.
we got to wrap up.
Yeah.
We got to wrap up here,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Yep. That's all right. We are done. We are through. I hope you guys enjoyed the game as we enter the bye week. So, yeah, no Chiefs playing this weekend, but we will figure something out to talk about next week on the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. All right.
Hey, I'm
we're
impressed.
getting out of
Remember
here.
the name of the podcast?
God damn, I fucking it's been a long weekend. My weekend's about to finish up. It started Thursday and ended is going to end tonight. That's my weekend, 5-day weekend.
Yeah,
been very busy with
you're
grandkids
busy
this whole entire time.
Yep. Great job, Grandpa.
It's insane.
And Grandpa.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss them. I've already missing them. But all right, from our little slice of Chiefs Kingdom right here in the great state of Indiana, I just got one thing to say. How about those Chiefs? Later.
Thank you for listening to the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Podbean, any of your favorite podcast sites. Be sure to watch us on YouTube. Just search for the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. Also, check us out on Facebook for any updates on the Chiefs and all of our weekly posts. You can find us at facebook.com/INChiefsFansPod. Finally, go check out our Golden Mojo Entertainment website at goldenmojoent.com. You can find information about your 3 favorite hosts and all the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment family. Those podcasts include The Call Guys, Golden Image Podcast, The United States of Paranormal, The Golden 80s Podcast, The Murdnerds, and A Court of Books and Booze. Thank you for tuning in, and how about those Chiefs?